This isn't cheating, it's polyamory. You're just too insecure to get it, she said. So, I said, we're done, and left. Now she realizes it was just cheating and she's all alone. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. Hey, Reddit throwaway account here because this whole saga still feels too raw to attach my real name to it. I'm a 32-year-old guy who thought he had a solid thing going with my girlfriend of 4 years, Emma. We met in college, bonded over late-night study sessions, and shared dreams of building a life together. I work in tech, stable job, good pay, nothing flashy, but I always put her first. When she was struggling with her graphic design freelance gigs, I covered rent for months so she could focus. When she started therapy last year to deal with some anxiety, I encouraged it, even drove her to sessions and sat in the waiting room. Hell, I skipped a promotion that would have meant relocating because she wasn't ready to move. I was all in, loyal to a fault, thinking we were on the same page about monogamy and commitment. But about 6 months ago, things started feeling off. Emma was glued to her phone more than usual, giggling at texts when she thought I wasn't looking. She'd come home late from networking events, smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. I tried to brush it off at first. Maybe it was work stress or her therapy breakthroughs making her distant. But then I saw a notification pop up on her laptop one night while she was in the shower. A message from some guy named Jake saying, "Last night was amazing. Can't wait for round 2. My stomach dropped. I didn't snoop further. That was enough. I waited until she came out, towel drying her hair, and confronted her calmly over dinner. I wasn't yelling or accusing, just laid out what I'd seen and asked for the truth. That's when she hit me with the line that's burned into my brain. This isn't cheating, it's polyamory. You're just too insecure to get it. I stared at her across the kitchen table, the pasta I'd made growing cold between us. What are you talking about, Emma? We've never discussed anything like that. Polyamory? Since when? She leaned back in her chair, crossing her arms with this smug little smile like she was explaining colors to a blind person. Look, my therapist has been helping me explore my needs. Monogamy is so restrictive, it's like society's way of controlling us. Jake and I connected at that design conference last month, and it just feels natural. Poly means I can love multiple people without it being a big deal. You're making it one because of your insecurities. I felt like the floor was tilting. Insecurities, Emma? We've been exclusive for years. You never mentioned wanting to open things up. This feels like you're rewriting the rules after breaking them. She rolled her eyes, sipping her wine. See, that's the close-minded thinking I'm talking about. Therapy taught me that true love isn't possessive. If you really cared about my growth, you'd support this. Jake gets it. He's enlightened, not stuck in outdated norms like you. We're not sneaking around. I'm being honest now. You should try being more open instead of judging. Honest now, after you've already started seeing him. My voice stayed even, but inside it was like a punch to the gut. I'd supported her through everything. Her breakdowns, her career slumps, and this was how she repaid it? By weaponizing her therapy sessions to justify sneaking around. Exactly, she said, her tone dripping with condescension. I didn't tell you earlier because I knew you'd react like this, all jealous and traditional. Polyamory isn't cheating. It's ethical non-monogamy. Read a book or something. If you can't handle it, maybe you're not as evolved as I thought. I pushed my plate away. Appetite gone. So what? You want me to just accept this? Date other people too? She shrugged. If you want or not, but I'm not stopping. Jake makes me feel alive in ways you don't anymore. It's not about you being bad, it's about me needing more. The conversation dragged on for another half hour. Her piling on the buzzwords like boundaries and emotional intelligence, all while making me feel like some Neanderthal for expecting fidelity. I didn't beg or yell, I just listened, nodding occasionally as the realization sank in. This wasn't a discussion. It was her declaring war on our relationship under the guise of self-discovery. By the end, I stood up, grabbed my jacket, and said, "Okay, Emma, if that's how you feel, we're done. I'll crash at a friend's tonight and come back for my stuff tomorrow." Her eyes widened for a split second like she hadn't expected me to call her bluff. "Wait, that's it? You're just leaving? No fighting for us?" I paused at the door. "What's there to fight for? You've already chosen." And with that, I walked out. No dramatic exit, no slamming doors, just quiet acceptance that the woman I loved had turned into someone I didn't recognize. The next day, I showed up with a couple of boxes while she was at work. I packed my clothes, books, the coffee maker I'd bought, essentials only, left the key on the counter with a note. "Rent's paid through the month. Good luck." Then I blocked her on everything. Phone, social media, email, no lingering ties, no room for second guessing. I crashed on my buddy Mark's couch for a week until I found a short-term rental in the same mid-sized city we'd called home. Didn't tell mutual friends the details at first, just said we'd split amicably. But amicable? That was a lie I told myself to keep it together. The first few weeks were brutal. I'd wake up in the middle of the night replaying her words, wondering if I really was too insecure or close-minded. Had I missed signs? Flashbacks hit hard, like the time last winter when she had a panic attack, and I held her for hours, whispering reassurances until she fell asleep. Or when I surprised her with tickets to that art exhibit she'd been dying to see. Just to watch her face light up. I'd given so much, sacrificed little pieces of myself. And for what? To be dismissed as unevolved. I didn't lash out or badmouth her. Instead, I threw myself into therapy. Ironic, right? Found a counselor online who specialized in breakups. And we unpacked how she'd gaslit me with all that therapy speak. "It's manipulation," my therapist said. She used trendy labels to avoid accountability. That helped. I started hitting the gym, something I neglected while prioritizing her schedule. Picked up hiking on weekends, exploring trails outside the city where the fresh air cleared my head. Work-wise, I finally pursued that promotion I'd passed on before. Turns out my boss was thrilled, and it came with a raise and remote flexibility. But the silence was the hardest part. No contact meant no closure, just me sitting with the unfairness. Mutual friends started reaching out, fishing for details. A couple sided with her at first, texting things like, "Emma said you couldn't handle her growth. Harsh, man." It stung, but I kept responses neutral. We wanted different things. Deep down, the confusion ate at me. Was polyamory really her thing or just an excuse? Why spring it on me like that? I journaled a lot, letting the vulnerability pour out on paper so it didn't fester. Slowly, the fog lifted. I realized her betrayal wasn't about my flaws, it was hers. And in that quiet detachment, I started rebuilding. No rebounds, no revenge plots, just me focusing on becoming someone she couldn't touch. About 2 months in, the whispers started trickling back through the grapevine. Emma had tried to define the relationship with Jake, pushing for that poly setup she'd preached about. Turns out he wasn't buying it. From what I heard via a neutral friend, he'd laughed in her face during a dinner date. "Polly, babe, I thought we were just having fun. I'm not looking for anything serious. You're a side thing." Dumped her on the spot, blocked her, and moved on to his next conquest. She'd been played hard. Karma didn't stop there. Without me as her safety net, her freelance gigs dried up. Turns out all that networking with Jake hadn't led to real opportunities. She lost a big client because she was too distracted and her anxiety flared up again. But now, without my support. Friends who'd initially defended her journey started distancing themselves when the truth spread. It wasn't ethical polyamory, it was plain old cheating with a trendy label. She ended up isolated, crashing on her sister's couch, posting vague social media stories about lessons in love that screamed regret. I didn't gloat or reach out, just kept building my life. New apartment, better routines, even started dating casually, meeting women who valued monogamy without the drama. The unfairness still lingered in quiet moments, but it fueled my growth instead of holding me back. Little by little, I felt the weight lift. Then the attempt started. First, it was a text from an unknown number. Her sister's. "Hey, this is Lisa. Emma's been going through a rough time. She realizes she messed up with the whole poly thing. Can you talk to her? She's learned about real boundaries now." I read it twice, feeling a flicker of that old confusion, but shut it down. "Not interested. Please don't contact me again." Blocked. A week later, Emma herself found a way around the blocks, probably a new number. She called while I was at the gym, leaving a voicemail. "Hey, it's me. I know you're mad, but Jake was a mistake. He didn't get it either. I thought poly was the answer, but it was just me being confused. Can we meet? I miss what we had. Therapy's helping me see I was wrong to spring it on you like that." Desperation crept into her voice, but I didn't call back. Deleted it and kept lifting weights. Things escalated from there. Her mom emailed me. Yeah, she dug up my work address somehow. "Dear my name, Emma's family is worried about her. She's not eating, not sleeping. That Jake, he used her and now she's alone. You two were so good together. She says she understands monogamy now. Give her another chance. It's the mature thing to do." Mature? The irony burned. I replied curtly. "Respectfully, this isn't my problem. Do not contact me further." Forwarded it to my therapist for a laugh. But Emma didn't stop. A couple weeks after that, she showed up at my new apartment. Must have gotten the address from a mutual who'd slipped up. I opened the door to her standing there, eyes red-rimmed, hair a mess, holding a takeout bag like some peace offering. "Can I come in, please?" she pleaded, her voice cracking. "I need to explain the poly thing. It wasn't real. I was just exploring like my therapist suggested." But Jake laughed at me when I tried to make it official, said I was clingy. Now I'm all alone and I see what I lost. You were always there for me. Let's try again. I'll do monogamy your way. I stood in the doorway, arms crossed, feeling nothing but calm detachment. "Emma, you made your choice. Now live with it." Her face twisted, shifting from apologetic to angry in seconds. "That's it? After everything, you're so cold. I thought you loved me. This is your insecurity talking again, punishing me for growing. My friends say you're being unfair. Even my sister thinks you owe me closure. How can you just throw us away?" "Throw us away?" I echoed evenly. "That's what you did, remember? With your enlightened excuses." She stepped closer, voice rising. "Fine, be that way. But you'll regret it when you realize no one else will put up with your boring routine. I was trying to evolve us and you bailed." The hypocrisy hung in the air, but I didn't engage. Just said, "Goodbye, Emma," and closed the door. I heard her banging for a minute before she stormed off. That was the last direct attempt, but it showed her true colors, desperate one moment, vicious the next. I let out a breath, leaning against the door. The confusion from those early days was gone. In its place was clarity. She'd unraveled just like her flimsy justifications. And me, I was free. Update. For months post-breakup, life kept moving forward for me. With the promotion secured, I was traveling more for work, conferences in other cities. Networking that actually built my career instead of derailing it. I upgraded to a nicer apartment downtown, one with a view of the river that reminded me to keep flowing. Dating picked up too. I met a woman named Sarah through a hiking group, kind, straightforward, no games. We weren't serious yet, but her company was a breath of fresh air, a reminder that relationships could be simple and respectful. Meanwhile, Emma's downward spiral continued, pieced together from occasional updates I couldn't avoid. After Jake dumped her, she tried to salvage her poly narrative on social media, posting quotes about self-love and ethical relationships. But the facade cracked fast. Mutual friends shared that she'd alienated most of our circle. Turns out, when the details leaked, her cheating framed as exploration, people saw through it. One friend told me she'd shown up at a group hangout ranting about how misunderstood she was, only to get shut down. Her freelance work tanked further. Clients bailed after she missed deadlines, blaming it on her emotional journey. Last I heard, she was back living with her parents, scraping by on odd jobs. Her anxiety worse than ever without a support system. It was ironic, really. Her so-called evolution left her more isolated than before. I didn't seek out the info. It just found me through the grapevine. And honestly, it didn't bring joy or vindication, just a quiet confirmation that actions have consequences. I'd spent those months sitting with the unfairness, processing how she'd manipulated therapy lingo to justify betrayal. My own sessions helped me see it clearly. It wasn't polyamory, it was avoidance. Karma had hit, not as some cosmic revenge, but as the natural fallout of her choices. She was alone, unraveling while I was piecing together a stronger version of myself. Update: 6 months post-breakup. The desperation peaked. The attempts didn't fully stop after that apartment showdown. For a while it was radio silence, but then her family ramped up. Her dad called from the block number one evening while I was cooking dinner. I answered without thinking. "Hello, is this my name?" His voice was gruff, like he was reading from a script. "Yeah, who's this?" "It's Emma's father. Look, son, she's in a bad way. That Jake fella used her and tossed her aside. She's realized the poly nonsense was a mistake. Says she was influenced by bad advice from her therapist. Her mom's worried sick and is not leaving the house much. Family thinks you two should talk. You were good for her stability." I set the spatula down, keeping my tone even. "I appreciate the concern, but that's not my role anymore. Emma made her decisions." He huffed. "Come on, be reasonable. She's begging us to reach out. Says she understands now. Wants real monogamy, boundaries and all. You're throwing away years over one slip-up. Her sister Lisa says you're acting controlling, blocking everyone. That's not mature." "Controlling?" I echoed mildly, noting the hypocrisy. "Sounds familiar." "Tell Emma to focus on her own growth. Goodbye." I hung up and blocked the number. It was classic. Her enablers twisting the narrative just like she had. A few days later, another voicemail from an unknown contact. This time from her best friend, Kara, who I'd always found pushy. "Hey, it's Kara. Emma's a mess, dude. She's crying all the time, regretting everything. Jake was abusive, gaslighting her about the poly stuff. She knows she hurt you, but she's changed. Therapy's for real this time. Her family's hounding her to fix it. Can you at least meet for coffee? She promises no pressure. Don't be heartless. She needs closure." Heartless. After her smug dismissal, I deleted it without responding. The desperation was escalating from apologetic pleas to guilting through proxies, revealing how little they'd respected my boundaries. Then came the angry phase. About a week after Kara's message, Emma emailed me from a new account. Subject line: "You owe me this. I can't believe you're ignoring everyone. My family says you're being petty and insecure, just like I thought. Jake exposed what a fool I was, but you're no better. Ghosting me when I need support. I admitted I was wrong about Polly. It was just cheating. Okay, happy now? But you walking away without fighting shows you never cared. Let's talk like adults. Or are you too evolved for that? If you don't reply, I'll show up at your work. This isn't over." The thread in her words showed her true colors, fully manipulative, entitled, flipping from victim to aggressor. I forwarded it to my therapist and a lawyer friend just in case, but didn't engage. Instead, I archived it and went for a run, letting the rhythm pound out any lingering doubt. Her attempts had gone from sad to toxic, mirroring the betrayal that started it all. I was done being her emotional crutch. Final update: 8 months post-breakup. The party had all culminated at our mutual friend Mark's birthday party, a casual backyard gathering at his place outside the city. I debated going, knowing Emma might show, but Mark assured me she'd been uninvited after her earlier drama. Still, there she was, slipping in late, looking gaunt and disheveled in a rumpled dress, clutching a gift bag like a shield. Our eyes met across the fire pit, and she beelined over while I was chatting with Sarah and a few others. "My name. Thank God you're here," she said, voice low but urgent, ignoring the group. "We need to talk privately." I turned, keeping my expression neutral. "Emma, this isn't the time or place." She glanced at Sarah, eyes narrowing, then back to me. "Who's she anyway?" "Listen, I've hit rock bottom. Jake was a user. He never wanted Polly, just sex. I see now it was all cheating. My fault entirely. Therapy's taught me boundaries for real this time. I understand what I lost. You were loyal, stable. Let's rebuild. I'll do whatever it takes. Her words rushed out, desperate, hypocritical after months of excuses. The group shifted awkwardly, but I stayed composed, sipping my beer. Emma, I said calmly, reflecting her logic back. I've decided I'm in a monogamous relationship with my own peace and happiness. I'm just not emotionally available for anyone else right now. You should understand that. Her face crumpled, then flushed with anger. What? Throwing my words back at me? That's cruel. Look at you. New job, new girl, acting all superior. My family's right. You're heartless. I came here to apologize, to fix us. There's no us to fix, I replied firmly, focusing on my growth. I've built a life where you're irrelevant. Thriving career, real connections, no more confusion or manipulation. You're a chapter closed, Emma. Move on. She stood there, mouth agape, as the irony hit, her public unraveling on display while I mingled effortlessly. Sarah by my side, mutual friends exchanged glances, the truth evident. She muttered something about me regretting it and stormed off, leaving the party early. It was the final reversal. Her desperation exposed, my indifference complete. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.